Conflict in the workplace is one of those things that we cannot run away from. It is one of the things that we sometimes again cannot say we are ready for. No matter how much we talk about it, we will always find ourselves in the space where we are affected by it. And that's what I've been talking about this past 2 days, today being the third episode on Wisdom Moments on K24 with me, CJ Atemo. Have you checked out my YouTube channel, CJ Atemo? Have you subscribed? Have you watched the videos that are there? Go ahead and do so. Set notifications, make your comments, and share the videos as well. I am also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as CJ Atemo, as well as on LinkedIn as CJ Atemo. We started by talking about the basics of it, just talking about conflict in the workplace and then how they do develop, which I want to talk about even further. I say that sometimes, they develop because of personality clashes, then that might sometimes become the power play as the number two, that people then begin to want to have more influence than the others in the workplace. And I did talk about poor communication as well. When communication is not effective, it's very easy for people to get into the place of conflict. It takes a lot for you to understand how to communicate effectively to other people. The timing of communication must be right. The tone of the communication needs to be right as well. It's very possible that people, because of the tone or the timing of the communication, would just get into a place of conflict. Well, today I want to bring you the number 4 reason why conflicts would develop, because I started talking about how do conflicts develop, and that would be perspectives. It could be perspectives. Well, each of these are interrelated because sometimes you see our perspectives are built on our personalities, but not always as well. And sometimes the power play may come from the personalities. Sometimes the power play also comes from the perspectives. The perspective is just how we view things. I may feel that we need to, if we're going to set up a meeting, for example, there is how we need to set it up. We need to be in the boardroom. We need to do certain things. Somebody else will feel like, why should we do that? Let's go to a restaurant or let's go to a different place and have our meeting there in an easy environment, and let's eat while we do work. So I may be feeling like if it is time for work, it's time for work. We don't need anything. We need a serious environment. So we go into the boardroom. We need PowerPoint and we need only water or maybe a snack and have serious meetings. Somebody else will be feeling that's too serious. Let's take this somewhere else. Now, those are just perspectives. They may have nothing to do with personalities. They may just be perspectives. But then when they are entrenched, that could lead to conflict because eventually probably one side will win the argument. And especially if the groups will be involved in making the decision. So if we then end up going to the restaurant and that wasn't my idea, if I feel that we have not achieved as much as we needed to achieve, I will begin to feel justified and say, see, this is why I wanted us to be in the boardroom, because I knew that we wouldn't be effective. And the other person might feel attacked. Well, we all are trying to do the same thing, but we've got different views to how that thing needs to be done. That is a very common place of conflict in the workplace because everybody who comes in with how they think things need to be done. Sometimes they have worked elsewhere before, and so they carry their experience, they carry the methods, they carry the systems, the culture of where they have been, and they want to introduce that to this place. Sometimes then you find other people feel that's not how we do it over here. Everybody that comes into a space comes in with a certain perspective of life, whether they come with it from their families or from a different workplace. They all carry those perspectives. For you to be able then to mitigate against conflict, you need to understand that different people will have different perspectives. The thing about that is then that you have to create an environment of respect where even when people differ on perspective, they have focus on what they need to do. And then the last thing that I will give that might be a reason why or how conflicts develop is pressure. Pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, pressure has a way of just bringing out so much in people. Whether the pressure is from the home or the pressure is from the workspace, or it is just from somewhere else. It could be a relationship. See, pressure has a way of thinning out emotions, and people then become very, they'll be on the edge. They'll be on their, things will get to their nerves so quickly. They'll be on the edge. And so anything that you say or do can be used against you or turned against you because they're taking pressure from elsewhere. This is why people need breaks. This is why it's important for people sometimes to just stay off and get a break and put off certain other things so that they do not take in so much pressure to the point where they're having meltdowns. It could even be not related with work. It could just be that that person is having so much issues at home, and then they find the workspace, the place where they need to vent. Somebody just triggers it. It could even be triggered by a joke or what somebody thought would be a joke, and they come and make a comment and say, nowadays I don't see you dressing as you used to be, as you used to do. And this person will then just lash out because probably the reason why they're not doing what they were doing is because there's so much conflict at home, and they are so they are so all over the place emotionally at home. So whatever this person would have said, which would look like it's on a light note, would trigger all the emotions at home, because probably this person, especially for example, if it is a lady who is married and she's not sleeping the whole night, they're fighting and quarreling and having all these issues the whole night, which she cannot share with everybody, she'll just flip. It could be a man who is having financial issues elsewhere, and he has all these loans that he has taken from somewhere. He owes people and he has borrowed, and so he's trying to contain himself, and the pressure for him to pay is all over here, and he doesn't want anybody to know, doesn't want his family to know that he took money and he owes. And then somebody will just come up and probably say something like, nowadays, man, you can't even buy us lunch or something. And if he doesn't have emotional capacity, he can actually just let out that, and it becomes a whole big issue, and somebody will be wondering, whoa, what was that? Why did this person react the way he reacted? And it can be extrapolated into other areas or other things. So pressure can trigger conflict. Pressure can trigger conflict. Sometimes you look at how people react, how they explode, how they behave, and you know that they actually just need to go home. They just need to go and sleep, or they need to travel for a weekend, or they just need to stay away from work for a day or two, or the assignment needs to go to somebody else. Because see, the pressure could come from timelines. It could come from frustration within the workplace where probably the team is not working together very well. It could also come from the fear of failure. Sometimes you've got this and you feel you are not going to do a good job. You're failing and you're trying to save the ship, and it seems like it's sinking. And out of that fear of failure, people can just explode and react in certain ways, and they will not even remember that they are acting out on other people. And they can start fighting everybody in the organization, fighting everyone. This is very common with top leadership in spaces where they cannot communicate about where the company is at that particular point. Maybe they know that financially they're not doing well. The board or the shareholders are putting pressure on them, and so they can't come out and say we are not doing well, and they're in between the workforce and the other people, and they can just come out and lash out and begin to fight everybody everywhere. And you wonder what exactly is going on over here. Why are we fighting? Why is this place so hostile? It could be just because of the pressure. Well, I hope that you have received some insight and that some perspective has come to you. This has been Wisdom Moments on K24 with me, CJ Atemo the Sage. Till the next time.